Just 1 hour, the Wichita School Board will hold a final public meeting before a decision is made on proposed school closures.
The final decision will come at next Monday's board meeting, but questions remain about how the school board came to the decision about closing these 6 schools possibly, and what the future will hold for those teachers at those schools. 12 News reporter Brock Wilson live outside the Morris Administrative Center with some clarification from the board and a response from the teachers union. Brock?
The school board says the purpose of tonight's meeting is not to answer every question or rumor that's out there about the school closures. It's about the public being able to voice their concern about the closing of those schools. But I did talk to the president of the teachers union today, and she did ease some of those concerns. When Wichita Public Schools announced it would be closing school buildings, Superintendent Kelly Bielefeld said no teaching positions would be cut.
We believe we can place every staff member in a position all throughout the district without anyone losing their job.
And the teachers union says the school district is keeping that promise.
They are getting a retention bonus. The district's giving them up to 10 hours to go interview at another location.
United Teachers of Wichita President Katie Warren says those interviews will happen at an interview fair next Friday at the Morris Administrative Center.
They're giving them an opportunity to find a good fit first. By May 31st, any teacher that hasn't found a position, they will place in a position.
Warren believes this is the school district's effort to keep teachers in Wichita.
That might be why they're doing the retention bonus, because they know if they're packing up everything, they may just want to go to the suburbs.
She says many teachers understand why their schools are closing, but still have concerns.
I think probably the biggest thing on their minds is their students. Our teachers, they have built such a community with the students and the families, and so there were lots of tears.
What closing these schools will do to class sizes, but the school district tells me that once these schools are closed, the average class size in the district will be 21. The school district also says it doesn't anticipate an increase in transportation funding transportation funding for the schools closing.